Hi guys, welcome to another Computing Corner video. In this one, we're going to be looking at Windows 3.1, but before we do that, I just need to explain a little something which is along the lines of installing stuff off screen. So any software that's been seen in a previous video, I will now install that off screen. This will then avoid any repetition of the software that you've seen before or any of the installs that you've seen before, but it also then gives me more time to then get to the exciting tests of the software itself. So to help with that notion, this is how I've organised the software installs for this particular video. So I've installed DOS 6 already off screen, as you can see here, but I'm also going to install Works 2 off screen as well. Microsoft Office has got 16 disks, so I'm going to do 10 of those off screen as well, just leaving you with the first 4 and the last 2. Visio's only got 3 disks, so you'll see all of that. And I'm going to take 15 disks off screen when it comes to Microsoft Windows, but I will show you how it's all set up still regardless of what disk number I'm on. But you'll see that there as well in action. But it'll just be a lot less of it, so I can then give you more time just to look forward to the exciting stuff that's ahead. So with that in mind, we now come off here. That's my sister. I will check that. So we're just looking on that. And now we'll go into the A drive and we'll get started on the setup, which will be then, if I can find it, all the way down there. And now it says the setup, this is looking a bit different already. We have the wording on here is different, and we have 6 disks here as well. We still have the chance to do a custom setup, which we've done here, which we are going to do here. And go British, and we'll go English International. The region bit needs to be done in Windows 3.1 itself, which we will look at. Okay, we need this 2 already. Let's sort that out. And look at that. This is what you do for... This is interesting. This is how you personalize your copy of Windows. Just so you know also, this is the last version of Windows that you can install without the need of a product key. Because everything else then, every copy, every version of Windows after this then requires them to help with anti-piracy or something rather. But in the meantime, just while I think of that, I have to set up like so, and obviously I will save that. And now it gives you the chance to customize your install as well. So you get to change, you get to sort stuff out in whichever way you wish to. Select only the ones that you want to install. So if we leave that as it is, this is what you're expecting to install. This is what you'll get on the computer. We also have screensavers, which is what was introduced here as well. That's interesting. We'll get to go through some of those when we go to personalize the computer. And then you've also, that's showing at about 125 megabytes, but don't worry, there is 2 gig on this hard drive. There's 2 gig on the other one as well. Let's click continue. Now we're going to look into virtual memory. This introduces virtual memory as well. And it says, setup will create a swap file with the temporary above settings. Windows uses the swap file to temporarily store information that was taking up space in memory. That comes in very handy. I always keep to that and make it a permanent storage. Okay, so now we need disk 3 of 6. Got it there. What am I doing? Disk 4. Five. Disk 6. And again, it says here, to set up Windows correctly, setup needs to modify your config sys in order to accept .bat files. And yeah, setup can make all the modifications for you. That's the recommended one that I would definitely go for. And then your current, they've now been updated, and then the previous version has had their file change, so that then became .old. Click continue. They're all done. Let's look for applications. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 apps from DOS, which we will carry over. Let's get the tutorial because I know how to use Windows. And it's saying to return to the DOS shell. So which then I'm going to come out of it straight away, and it puts you straight into Windows. And there you go. We have, that's the introduction of the old classic Windows logo, the one that was extended from this version of Windows all the way up to Windows ME, to which then at that point it then had another change. But this is where we are at the moment. So if we, I don't know what I'm doing, if we go into the file manager, that's now showing stuff in kilobytes rather than just in bytes, which is a good way to go. I can now get rid of, not that, I want to get rid of that, because I've got the text file, which is there. It's the first time I've actually shown you something in Notepad. Would have been the DOS file there. That's the file that I'd written in DOS. I also, just come to think about it, no. But at least it's allowing you to sort of sync out. So let's come out of that, because we'll personalize this first. We'll be able to change the international side of things as well. And then we've got some extra fonts I wanted to show you as well, which we will do. We'll do just that when looking at the following, when looking at the documents side of things. But we want to do a wallpaper. There are some patterns here as well, which we will look at later on down the line. we've even got a marquee as well, which is that. But you can also set that up too, which we would do. And then the ultimate question, seems like you can go on forever. You can also format the text as well, but what have we got? Look at this. We've now got Times New Roman. We've got some text type, true type fonts as well. So we've got 5. Let's go for Arial. And then we'll test that out as well. This is what it looks like. So that's that part set. That's that part bit set up. So now we have a back. We now have a screensaver, but we've also got some more. Yeah, we've also got some more wallpapers as well. My favourite one, which is now there, is the Arches one. This is the one I typically would go for when I'm analysing Windows 3.1 or any EdT program as well. It's the one I typically would go for. This has got a bulk standard size monitor, but I love this. Let's change the colour scheme on this as well. Black leather jacket. Yeah. Bordeaux, cinnamon, designer, Emerald City, fluorescent, hot dog stand. That's an interesting one. That looks like the colours of McDonald's. LCD default, reversed, dark, light, mahogany. There's monochrome, which I don't want to go for because it's black and white. Plasma power saver. Yeah, that looks a bit trippy. Tweed. Valentine. That would have been perfect. Wingtips. Let me have a look at, not mahogany. I think I'm going to go for the hot dog stand. I mean, look at that. That comes out of that. There's also going to be an update for this as well. So join me back in a bit because I'm now going to install some programs off screen, of which include Microsoft Works. And I'm back, and we've got now Microsoft Works installed. So if we, oh dear, I didn't want to do that. If I go into Solution Series, which is what came under, this is what you've got. Okay, there's the welcome screen, which I've now got rid of. We can now, let's go into the word processor. Which I'm going to put in But what I want to do at this point, yeah, you can't do a copy and paste on that. You can't select all. Because what I wanted to do is I wanted to change that. This is what it looks like on that. But I want to change this to times, because that's meant to be Times Roman. Now I'm going to change that to Times New Roman. How do you select all? You can't, not on here anyway. But you could definitely see the differences between them. Look at attacks as well. Yeah, you could definitely see the differences between them. So I'll save that into D. And then we'll call it times com for now, because you can only go up to 6 characters. Right, 6 characters? I meant 8. So it'd have to be time, no, not that one. Time comp. And then obviously I can then change that when needed. I will look at the other ones later on down the line, but I just need to make sure that everything's all sorted. Next thing I want to look at though is just get some accessories on the go, because I now need to, let me just click close, that just reminds me. No, I want to close this one off. Program Manager shuts Windows down. I need to add this. But now what we can do, because there are more fonts, we'll make them true type. And then let's see what that looks like in Times New Roman. There we go. And can you actually do a list on that? You can, you can do indents. But I think that's it. I am going to save this. But I do want to change that font out. I want to change it to a sans serif font. There we go. Now that's now been renamed MS Sans Serif. Let's go for not system, because that's in Greek. Let's do that. Didn't want to do that. Let that go. Let me minimize this down. Oh, there it is. I thought I'd lost that for a moment. You can bold it, but you can't. Apparently you can't do Control S to save it. There we go. Let's exit out of that. And then we'll have a look at some more accessories. So we've seen, right, let's do paintbrush. This looks practically the same as it would do. So what I'm going to do then in that case, can I rename that? Yeah. But I'm going to put in 3.1 1992. Ah, so now you can do Control Z to undo any move that you need to. I'm going to do the one thing that I usually don't do. Again, I think I'm going to have to do it here as well. Let's try that again. Again, I think I'm going to have to stand on the one, because that's just something. And then do that. Then we'll save it. And then I'll do a little bit there. Whoops. That'll be good enough. And then we'll come out of that. And that's everything so far. So the next thing I'm going to do now is set up Office. Microsoft Office 4. Then this one's got 16 disks. So, oh, hello. This has got a serial number. Okay, so that's absolutely fine. It's got PowerPoint, it's got Word, it's got Excel. But I also want to see what else there is to it. So if we go for complete custom, you'll see exactly what we've got. we've got Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Office Manager, and you've got the true type fonts there as well. Nice. It makes a change to the 5. It makes a nice addition to the 5 that's already there. But all of this is taking up about 65 megabytes. Which is absolutely fine. So let's continue with that because I've selected everything. Microsoft Excel includes support for people familiar with Lotus 123. Would you like to read more about this support? I'm actually going to say no. Help for WordPerfect users can be automatically available when you press WordPerfect command keys. Yeah, we'll activate that option. Yeah. Microsoft Office. And then let's do some setup. Right, we need this too. So again, remember from what I said earlier, we're going to be installing from disks 5 to 14 off screen. So as soon as we get to disk 5, I'll do up to 15 off screen. So this is disk 3. Disk 4. Disk 5. Okay, so join me back in a bit and I will carry on with the setup at disk 15. Join me back in a bit after this. And I'm back. And we've just got up to disk 15 of Microsoft Office. So the next thing we want to look at is just finishing it off. So we're down to our last 2 disks now. We need disk 16, which is the last one of them. Setup is updating your system. And look at that. So we'll click continue because we need to restart. And would you look at that? Welcome to Microsoft Office. So it says here, these cue cards are displayed automatically the first 2 times you start Office Manager. But there's the first time, so that's one more. But if you have a look, we've got Word, Excel and PowerPoint. This is what Word looks like. I mean, these icons look amazing, particularly when you're talking about something from 1993. And then you've got all the other fonts there as well, which you've got Line Draw. Impact was introduced in 1993. Botanic Bold is another one. These are all the true type fonts that you would get, which you otherwise wouldn't have got if you hadn't installed Office. Let's see. Yeah. So there we go. But I'm not going to save it this time. But what I will do eventually is convert my WordPad document to that on here, in my WordPad file into something that you'd find in Word. That's the tutorial for Excel, which we can now update accordingly. So now, if we go into it, just before we do, I want to show you, this is what PowerPoint looks like from 1993. Sorry, my chair keeps sinking faster than the Titanic. But I wonder, oh, it's bullet points. That's interesting. Again, we're not going to save that. Not yet, at least anyway. And then that's what they look like. Words one's particularly interesting. That one I particularly find fascinating. And then we'll go into close it off as well. And if you take a look, if we just widen it out. If you take a look, you can now see that you've got Microsoft Office on the second row up. The next thing we want to look at is just going back into File Manager, because we now need to install Visio. This one's only got 3 disks, so you get to see the whole. You get to see the whole setup. Do that. Do a complete install. This only needed 9 megabytes. Well, that makes sense. It was split across 3 disks. This later became a part of Microsoft Office, but for now it's owned. At this point, it was owned by a different company. I have to have a look at that myself. Let's come out of that for now. Don't want to disconnect it. I want to go on to the next part of this. The next program I want to set up should be Visual Studio. Visual Basic 2. So again, I want to minimize this. But look at that. So I wonder, Visio was on its own. Visio was its own company before it. So Visio was its own company before it was integrated into Microsoft Office. That's interesting. You've got the many diagrams that you can use here. Well, I say there's many of them. There's 11. And then you've got that as well. Next thing I want to look at is there's a new game on here called Minesweeper. I do particularly badly on here. I've won a few, there, like that. That completely illustrated my point. I've won a few games on here, but yeah, this is the first version of Windows to include it. Now I'm just thinking, those are definitely 2. And I just triggered one off. Got 2 there. No! I knew where those two were. I had a funny idea those were the two. Oh, shoot. Try again. Those are two. I think. No! I got them right. That's one. I'll make this the last game. Fuck. That just so happens. Can do custom on here as well, which we're not going to do yet. We'll just make it beginner. And then we've got solitaire as well. Draw one would get rid of the time bit as well. Going to change the deck as well, because you've got all of these decks available, card decks. I'm going to go for this one, I think. Put the 8 down there. At least I'm only drawing one card this time instead of 3. But I wonder how well this will bode. Got 7 there. There's the 6. 8. There's the other 7. There's a queen. Will I have the black queen just for that king? And there's a 6. I'm just wondering at this point, am I going for the right one? Because no aces have been locked so far. No aces have been unlocked so far. Even that's what I was meant to say. There's a 3. And all this time, I found an ace. All this time, I didn't see that group there. Now, a redeal would normally cost you 100 points on draw 1. On draw 3, on the other hand, the first 3 redeals are free. And then after that, you lose 20 points each time. You can undo as well, but doing so would cost you 2 points. That's what it did with me here. And you can only undo 1 move at a time. I guess that's the cost of survival. Oh, sorry about that. There's the black king I was after. Another ace. Thank you. I need a black 6, so I can move that 5 across. There's another black king. There's the 3 of spades. 3 of spades. I'm just wondering at this point. I can't really do anything. There's a red king, but drop up there. There's the 2 of spades. Ah, there we go. This is the third run through on this hand. No more cards. After this one, I'm now back down to 0 points. Okay. So the question now is, where do I go from here? I think I've screwed up. Unless, of course you can't do that. What are you doing? Oh dear. Right, I think I'm going to have to stop there, because I'm wasting time. I've got one more program I'd like to install. But just before we do that, we've got the calculator to look at as well. It's practically the same as in the original 3. Whereas you can do the calculator in that as well. You can do square roots and continually adding to your total. But now what I want to do is install Visual Basic. And see how this compares . So do that. Yeah, that's fine. VB. Yeah. Complete installation. Now, I would normally have wanted to have done a custom install, so at least then you get to see exactly what to expect. But I didn't do that this time. But I just went straight for it. I need disk 3. I need disk 4. Oops, I've got to do that. There we go. Disk 5. And disk 6. And now we need disk 1. We need to go back to disk 1. There we go. So now we can run Visual Basic. Oh, sorry about that. Sort of stuff not off them for a moment. Okay, so we've got more controls. I must apologise profusely for that. So anyway, we have the text box, which we will look at, and then this has now been sorted into category wise. Let me get rid of this, because your properties are now there, and now we want the text to do that. You can still see what's going on. You can now write, we can now align stuff. I'm just trying to find the caption for it. Under name. Number text. And then I'm going to rename this form no, I don't want that. Gen form. And I think, if I remember, yeah, caption. And then we'll grab a button. So I'll put generate there. Gen button. And then we'll go caption, this caption at the top. And then we'll click on here. Number text dot text equals number text dot text plus 1. And then we can play it. And now you can add stuff. That's interesting. So what we want to do now is we're going to go to the text box. Which unfortunately you can't do here. But we will have a look. Don't want to close it off. At 2 more buttons. One for clear. Switch then with that, I can then go number text dot text equals 0. And then one more. Yeah. And then one more. Where I click close. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we want to do clear, which we've done, and we'll have a look at those as well. And then close, let's do a me.close. End statement. Okay. So you don't need the brackets at the end of that one. That makes sense. Okay. You want to do that? So it's nice to know that everything can snap to grid. And then do that. Method is not applicable for this object. Let's get rid of the close button then. And then click close. Now we'll try again. Easily done. And then we can make an exe out of it as well. Which I'm going to save into the D Studios DMC filing. Yes. My word. Okay, so we want then num gen, and that's done. So we'll come out of that. Yes, I do. And there we go. And that is all done. So we'll close it off. I think we ought to just double check to see if that works. So everything's there. There's the exe file, which is what you've got here as well, which is brilliant. Let's close it off. Now I'm going to close this off as well. And that will be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.